What's up guys, Mr. Conductor here, and back again with a new video, and you probably thinking, why you use the Thomas the Tank Engine theme song. Well, today is the 40th anniversary of Thomas the Tank Engine, and I want to review this show today, so anyways, let's start the review of this show. So what do I think about this show? I will tell you what do I think about this show.
Hey all you people, hey all you people, hey all you people, won't you listen to me? Yeah, I just saw a green light, no ordinary green light.
A green light of this show is the best show of all time. Anyways, this show is a
Dang!
of my #1 favorite show of all time. How much I remember watching this show as a young boy, and I enjoyed it. The show was started airing in 1984. It's created by Britt Allcroft, and it's based on the Railway series books by Rev W. Audrey and his son Chris. The show originally aired on PBS, Fox Family, PBS Kids, Universal Kids, formerly known as Sprout, Nickelodeon, Nick Jr., Cartoonito, part of Cartoon Network, and currently streaming on Netflix, Roku, and Amazon Prime Video. The show involves a blue train named Thomas the Tank Engine, and other trains that do their job in the island of Sodor, ruled by Sir Topham Hatt, or the Fat Controller in the United Kingdom. Speaking about the characters. Number 1. Thomas the Tank Engine. He is a classic British icon, much like characters such as Wallace and Gromit, Postman Pat, Bob the Builder, Fireman Sam, Peter Rabbit, Noddy, and Paddington Bear. In fact, this character is what we call the Mickey Mouse of British children's media. What makes him unique is that, much like characters, he is not only famous in the United Kingdom, but he is also famous worldwide, and is also one of the most iconic cartoon characters ever created, apart from characters such as Mickey Mouse, SpongeBob SquarePants, Homer Simpson from The Simpsons, Pikachu from Pokemon. Even though I have no opinion on Pokemon, Super Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog, Hello Kitty, Winnie the Pooh, Scooby-Doo, Popeye, Charlie Brown, Bugs Bunny, Garfield, and Tom and Jerry. His personality trait as a tank engine who wants to see the world, but is always fussy and cheeky, is quite an excellent concept put together. In both the Rev Audrey and TV series, his wish of getting his own branch line from his debut book, The Adventure Begins, and Season 1 had come true, but in the TV series, his other wish was to go on an adventure to go around the world in Big World, Big Adventures, although it was established in the Railway series that he just wanted a branch line where he can see the world for himself. He knows when to call out on an engine if said engine's being immature or stubborn. The line to Emily in Emily's Adventure, "That's because you're a big bossy boiler," pokes fun at High Tea Entertainment's portrayal of Emily when he was calling Emily out for her bad attitude towards Elizabeth. His original teal-green paintwork in The Adventure Begins looks amazing. His design is true to the original, the E2 classes, despite none of the E2s wearing cyan in real life. And his live-action model for the TV show is beautifully made. He's a good friend to all engines and a popular one of the Sir Topham Hatt's railway. Sure, he may be cheeky, but he can still be a good friend, since he's always the optimistic, idealistic, and altruistic engine who has a heart of gold. He also does his best helping his friends and those he cares about. His short-lived sister show called Tugs is 10 cents because of his cheeky, but very good-natured and hard-working personality. His iconic friendship between him and Percy is really charming. To add more fuel to the car, Thomas does show to look out for younger engines like Bill and Ben. This is particularly evident in later episodes and seasons, where he is more experienced and is often charged with helping newer engines out. So you could say he's like a big brother to the much younger engines. He lives his way of being a really useful engine, and in a good way, he wants to let the other engines know that they can do the same. So you could say that he does his job playing his part very well, while he might drive others away. Thomas is very good at luring back friends if the situation demanded. Thomas became less arrogant and self-hab Sorb, which is a good character development, which is notable in seasons 2 and 3. Even he was shown to be less arrogant and rude compared to his incarnation from the original books. Eddie Glenn, Ben Small, Martin Sherman, John Hassler, and Joseph May all do great voices for Thomas in both the United Kingdom and United States. In addition, the narrators from the model series, Ringo Starr, George Carlin, Michael Angeles, Michael Brandon, Pierce Brosnan, and Mark Morgan do amazing jobs too. He made many friends with international engines such as Ashima, Nia, Gina, Rajiv, Yongbao, Bo, Sam, etc. What also makes him feel like a likable character is you could even relate to him too. Aside from his first feature film, Thomas is shown to be really brave as well. Like in Hector the Horrid, when Hector found out the hard way that you should never frighten Rosie in front of Thomas. Thomas himself, as well as the rest of the cast from the franchise, do a good job at teaching kids and even adults life lessons such as social and emotional skills. In fact, even autistic children can learn from Thomas as well as the rest of the gang. In some cases, Thomas has demonstrated a perspective of seeing some suspicious moments going on, such as the tiger hunter's hidden cage. Diesel 10's plans to take over the railway of steam engines with his fellow Diesels and Baz and Bernie's whispering. Although he was Flanderized in the Sharon Miller era, he was never Flanderized during his show's decline throughout the Big World, Big Adventures era, and still kept his original persona during those seasons. In addition to this, in the Andrew Brenner era of Thomas and Friends, he, alongside those who got Flanderized during the Miller era, redeemed themselves. Thomas was also likable for the downfall of before he got sadly Flanderized, as mentioned above. He was also likable in Thomas and the Magic Railroad, number 2, Percy the Small Engine. He was the first engine given his own name by the Fat Controller, Sir Topham Hatt in the US dub. His naive but positive personality is what makes him a likable character. While he can be a softy at times, there are plenty of episodes showing his bravery. Examples include Percy's Promise, Percy Gets It Right, and especially Put Upon Percy. Special shout out to Tale of the Brave, when he saved James from a landslide. His friendship with Thomas is incredibly charming. He, along with Toby, started the Farquhar trio, Thomas, himself, and Toby. His green color fits him and matches his personality as well. His episodes where he and James get the lead role together make him and James a very good duo, like how Ren and Stimpy are a great duo together. They even have a few fun rivalry stories like Jack Frost. His facial design is absolutely adorable. He, along with Thomas, have spawned plenty of memes such as Dirty Percy. Percy. Anyways, he is at his absolute best in Percy's Promise, where he was practically a joke before this, and he shut up other big engines like Gordon or James. Despite being rather simple-minded, he tends to be kind, caring, and curious. Number 3, James the Red Engine. He is the most iconic engine in the franchise. Hands down, he has a nice design, especially his nice red coat. Before his red livery, he had some black livery before he had a crash. That design is very nice on him as well. Like Edward and Henry, he is a jack of all trades, which means he is capable of doing several jobs. After unintentionally blowing steam on Sir Topham Hatt's top hat and bumping his coaches and being stuck in the sheds for it, James redeemed himself by successfully pulling his trucks up Gordon's Hill and didn't crash the second time and getting praised for it by Sir Topham Hatt. He has arguably crossed the goodness zone with this act of self-redemption. The same way Squidward did in Pizza Delivery. He truly is a splendid engine, as shown as he doesn't always boast that he's one, but he proves he is one plenty of times. He has funny moments, especially in that he's very accident-prone, such as crashing into tar wagons, sliding into the snow, crashing into Edward's poster, getting teased for his mishaps, or when he gets his well-deserved karma for his other engines. His friendship with Gordon and Henry is very iconic. Considering all three of them are arrogant tender engines, even if Henry is the nicest of the three. He has helped the rest of the Steam team stick up for themselves, such as in Hero of the Rails and Day of the Diesels. Despite his vain and egotistical personality, he proves to be caring and kind-hearted, as shown when he helps his friends numerous times, like in Make Someone Happy, Dirty Work, and James Goes Too Far. When he is rude and insults other engines, he always gets what he deserves, realizes his mistake, and apologizes. Even though he only likes to pull coaches and not trucks, he often learns he can't always do the jobs he likes to do, and eventually does his assigned jobs. He likes to do, and eventually does his assigned jobs, even when the series went through seasonal rot during seasons 12-16, 22-24, and the infamous All Engines Go reboot. He was one of the few characters who hadn't been Flanderized and retained his original personality. That said, he was the only member of the Steam team during the Miller era was never Flanderized, along with Gordon, who, despite suffering Flanderization as of Season 8, was still tolerable. That said, he was the only member of the Steam team during the Miller era was never Flanderized, along with Gordon, who, despite suffering Flanderization as of Season 8, was still tolerable, and he went back to his original personality in Season 14. His catchphrase as of Season 20, "Here's James," when he arrives in a station is very neat, which is a reference to Jack Torrance's famous quote in The Shining, "Here's Johnny." His red paint fits him perfectly. As he is hot-headed and egocentric. Number 4, Henry the Green Engine. First of all, he has very good designs over the years, pretty similar to other characters of the franchise. His earlier design in the Railway series during Wilbert's life is pretty nice, with the shape of a G&R Gressley, a 1 and 4-6-2 locomotive, which was similar to Gordon, in which he would gain problems when out on the run. After his accident with the Flying Kipper, Henry was mended into a LMS Stanier Class 5, Black 5, a 4-6-0 locomotive. This version from Wilbert would become his current look on the TV series adaptations from the model to CGI era. In later books, his appearance would change into a more realistic approach, which does look similar to his real-life counterpart. While his All Engines Go counterpart isn't that great, he at least still has his new shape. He is pretty sympathetic due to having a poor run in his old shape and being teased by others for it, not to mention his other problems. He had a small firebox with some elements of his poor system put into his old shape due to some drawings being stolen from Sir Nigel Gressley, his original builder. This is seen in how slow he moves in Thomas and the Conductor. He even got ill in A Big Day for Thomas. His anger towards Thomas in Thomas and the Conductor is justified, as Thomas just assumes that he is by, quote, lazy bones, due to his speed.